Hey, it's Jack. And if you've ever wondered how to get more attention from your guy, then you're in the right place. I want you to stick around because we're going to get into the 5 things that you can do to get more attention from him. Hey, I'm Jack Butler. Welcome to this video. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. If you haven't yet subscribed, I want to invite you to subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button and then tap bell notification so you hear of new videos as soon as they come out. I release at least 2 new videos every week on dating authenticity and personal growth. And this is a vibrant community to be part of. I'd love to have you with us. All right, so let's get into this. You're wanting more attention. How do you solicit that attention? So, step number 1, be in your feminine. The majority of men, and I'm talking in gross orienting generalization here, but the majority of men are attracted to feminine energy in women. That's the thing that they can least do for themselves and will keep them most engaged in you. Now, this is actually not about trying to be someone that you're not. It's about tapping your authentic feminine energy, whatever that looks like, whatever the flavor of it is. And if you say, well, what does that really mean, Jack? How do I be more in my feminine? One of the ways of thinking about that is actually being more surrendered, more relaxed, more able to go with the flow, more willing to receive, right? If you've ever had the experience, I want to be a queen, I want to receive good things from him, right? Whether that's attention, praise, gifts, opening the door, checking the, securing the scene that it's safe. If you want more of that, most men, and this is not just, sinister, it's just most men, that's more dialed up in them when they experience your feminine energy, right? So that's the first place that you want to look if you're getting more if you want more attention. You're not trying to be his business partner, right? You guys may chat about those things and you may be a good thought partner for him, but really where the key dynamic of the relationship is for most men is, can he be in his masculine and can you be in your feminine enough that there's an attraction and an exchange and polarity that's happening. So if you're not getting the attention that you want, just notice what's happening in the polarity and do your part. It's not all on you, right? He's got to show up in his side of that polarity, but you can invite that forth from him the more you're showing up in your feminine. The second thing that you can do to get more attention is to be in your body, right? There's a little bit of a meta theme that I'm describing to you here, right? Most men are attracted to otherness, right? They're attracted to that which they are not, or that which they have less access to. Now, there are some incredibly embodied men, that's amazing, but a lot of us spend a decent amount of time up here and a little bit less time sunk down into our bodies. And one of the ways that you can help us is by actually being in your body, because that's what invites us to be in ours. And for most of us, that is actually going to be an experience that we like because it's going to be an atypical experience, right? It's not something that we can necessarily just easily do all the time for ourselves. Of course, the more we practice as men, the more we practice the presence that we can put in our bodies, the more we can do that. But doing it with you, or you inviting us there when we're going to notice, yeah, I'm sort of spinning out, I'm frustrated, I'm thinking, I'm stressed, and then you start moving in your body and invite me to move in mine, that's something that I'm probably naturally going to want to give attention to. All right, the third thing that you can do to get attention from your guy is actually, as I'm getting bit by a mosquito, is you can bring your presence to him, right? So when he's connecting with you and when he's sharing himself, one of the things I want you to realize is you might be certainly the prime, but possibly the only place where he really gets to share in the way that he shares with you, right? Most men, most of the time, aren't getting that with their coworkers, and they aren't getting that with their guy friends, right? They may in moments, or they may have a certain quality of brotherhood where that's available, but for most men, just orienting, in general, that's not actually available for them. So if you are able to show up for him when he's actually talking about something that may not be obvious from the way that he's talking, that it's tender and precious, but just imagine that it is. Just imagine that it is, because it may be he's voicing things that he hasn't voiced elsewhere, he hasn't even been able to access for himself. So you bringing a quality of presence and attunement is likely to make the interaction really special for him. And the more that he does that, the more that you do that, the more he's going to want to be in emotional intimacy with you. And isn't that what a lot of you want? A guy that actually wants to be emotionally intimate with you. So what about if you take the leadership in that area of the relationship by the sweet attunement of your presence? The fourth thing you can do to get more attention from your guy is to bring him your vulnerability. Most men are attracted to your vulnerability. And you may say, that's the last place I want to go. I want to invite you just to get curious about it. Most men, if you can elicit their protector, and again, I'm not saying do this as an act of manipulation. I'm just saying the more you can genuinely and authentically get in touch with the places that you feel vulnerable, or you feel exposed, or you feel scared, or you feel anxious about what's about to unfold, right? Or you feel uncertain, you don't really know what the right answer is. The more you can bring them to him from a place of vulnerability, the more likely it is that he's going to want to show up for you, right? It's like you're activating. Anytime you're activating the archetypical masculine, you are more likely to get more of his attention, right? I think that's just a law of what is. So what's it like for you to be vulnerable? And by the way, I want to distinguish something here. There's a difference between being vulnerable, which often means you're going to touch into the emotion that's beneath something, and complaining, right? So if you're constantly complaining to him about things, you may not actually elicit this. But if you're in the vulnerability and you can bring the emotional content of where you feel anxious or where you feel exposed, maybe you even name that, right? I'm feeling a bit scared right now, or I don't really know what to do. That's more likely to elicit the quality of masculine presence from him. That's the quality of attention that you want. All right, and in at number 5, the fifth way that you can get more attention for him kind of brings all these things together, but it's actually from your feminine, including your vulnerability, is to be able to ask for it, but not in a way that demands it, right? So there's a little bit of nuance here. He wants to be at choice in giving his attention to you, right? There may be times where you kind of tease him, right? And you're trying to get his attention. Maybe he's focused on a DIY project, or he's kind of at work and you're kind of interrupting him, but you're doing it kind of playfully or teasingly. But there's also a place where you can say, hey, you know, I would really love to spend a quality hour with you, right? Or I would really love for you to come be with me tonight or at some point today and just really sit with me. Or there's some stuff I really want to talk to you over, or I'm really missing you. Again, the emphasis here is on your authenticity, right? It's that you actually reveal what's true for you. Most men prefer to give their attention a choice rather than to feel like they're being manipulated into it, right? So if you're trying to get his attention by talking about something that's kind of not that meaningful, but you're kind of doing it because you really want attention, but you're trying to say it's about him or you're helping him, I would let that go. And I would go more directly to what is it that you actually want, and that you might be able to ask for him and be willing to be with the edge of your own rejection, right? Because that's why we often don't ask for the things we want, because we fear, oh, I might actually find out he doesn't want to give me attention right now. Now, ideally, if he can't give you attention, he might be willing to say, yeah, now's not a good time, but I really look forward to taking you out on a date tonight, right? Or I look forward to just sitting on the sofa and being with you tonight. Sometimes we're good at communicating that way as men, sometimes we're not. But the piece here is that actually you're not being covert, you're being overt and vulnerable with your need. And you're asking for something. And if that's a win for him, and if that can get him, you know, appreciation and feedback from you that's positive, most of the time as men we might want to do that, right? So we just kind of up the maturity of the conversation, of the reveal, of the ask, make it a little bit more explicit and overt. And we also then are naming the things that we want. And this is a good practice for you, whether he says yes or not, for you to be able to discern, what am I actually wanting, right? I may be distracting myself with my Instagram feed or whatever I do, but what I really actually want is some heart presence, right? What I really want is to feel emotionally connected. Or, you know, what I really want is for him just to come over and hold my hand and tell me it's going to be okay. right? Now, you can kind of train guys in this. That may not all be intuitive to them, you know? So if you just say, sweetie, I'd love for you to come and hold my hand, that would be so meaningful. He may have no idea that looking you in the eyes and holding your hand for 5 minutes might be the most important thing in your day and the easiest win for him, right? So train him, and I don't mean that disparagingly, you know? I mean it in a like, let's help each other win. Let's help each other get the things that we want. So if you're in a situation right now where you are connecting with a man, but you don't really know where it's going, I want to invite you to click the first link beneath this video, download my He's Your Guy checklist. Just 9 simple steps you can run any guy through that kind of lets you know, is this some kind of investable proposition? Is this something that could start to stabilize out into a relationship? Let me do some of the lifting for you. Just click that link. It'll get sent straight over to your inbox. And if you haven't, I want to just ask you to like this video. It super helps me with the algorithm. And please subscribe to the channel. You hit subscribe and then tap the bell notification so you hear of new videos as soon as they come out. And as always, I'm Jack. Thanks for being here.